We're still, of course, in the early stages of this season, but how important do you think this fixture is for City? Of course, it's a big game for Man United for multiple reasons. They're just desperate to turn their fortunes around, but for City, not only to get the better of their rivals, but to return to winning ways, build some momentum, going into sort of a challenging run of fixtures. How important do you think this is for City?
I I'm usually in the camp that like look we can't take too much from the first few months of the season because City have a habit of finding form eventually and going on a win of runs. And even last season when we looked terrible, we had one of the worst records in the league. From like the 1st of January onwards to the end of the season, City had the best form in the league. And I know Liverpool dropped off a little bit when they won the league, but even if they carried on, it would have been the second best form in the league. So we went from being diabolical to good. So I expect City will, go on that run of form. So even if City lose this game, you can't take too much from it. But my biggest concern is, and I don't know how much he's going to play into it yet because only time will tell, is just given how many changes there are. I just don't know how much that DNA is there still. That City DNA of fixing things and leaning on certain people. There's still a lot of quality and experience there, but there's just been a lot of changes. And I don't know how much we can lean on the same ideas, and I don't know how much this team is capable of bouncing back from the setbacks because it's such a different team and there's so many new faces. So I think it's fair to say that if they're losing this game, losing 3 games in a row, look at the fixtures we got with Napoli and Arsenal. It could be really painful. It could knock the team's confidence a lot. And as I said previously, when you had the experience of the players that turned it around last season, and Guardiola did lean on the older players last year. Bernardo and Gundogan and De Bruyne and so on. Obviously, he led on them, led on them. And Kanji and Edison. I understood why he did it last year, but they're not going to be there, most of them. And so you're asking a show of character that we don't really know if it exists yet. There's a lot of question marks. So I don't feel quite as confident as I did in previous years that City would necessarily, fix it eventually. I'm sure we would do, but there's a bigger question because there is no literal proof that I don't know what it can look like when Ryan Shirky, Tijana Reinders, Nico Gonzalez, Omar Mamouche. I know some of these have been involved last season, Kusanov, etc. But I don't know what they're going to look like when we're up against it and things are looking terrible. Have they got the quality and experience to get through it? They might do. They probably do. But I don't know for certain because I've never seen it before. So it's uncharted territory for Man City, this current squad, and it's so many changes that I think a defeat against United. Previously, I'd be quite relaxed about us turning it around, but I don't think losses in out of the first four with potential losses against Napoli and Arsenal that could follow it. You're looking at then, 5 losses out of 6 games. That could really knock City, and I think at that point, the season wouldn't be unrecoverable, but it could drift very quickly, and I don't think that's good with this squad. And at that point, I would argue actually that's not a rhythm thing. That's probably you'd then argue that's the symptomatic of the squad, as opposed to time needed. I think that people would start to question the quality, and then I don't know. You see how things can roll with negativity and negativity. This could all be just conjecture. It could be fine, but I don't. I think it's quite important. Is what I'm getting at. I think this game, City don't. I think we could really do with not losing this game because I think we could get lost in our heads a little bit as a club, as a fan base, and I suspect it would hurt losing against United because I think we would feel the pain against Napoli, and I think we'd feel it. Because I'm sorry, but you have to be stupid to think that De Bruyne isn't going to turn up and then score against us, and it's going to fucking hurt as well. Sorry for my language there,
All
but it
right.
would. That's how much it would hurt. Like it would, and then Arsenal would beat us at the end. No, no, yeah, we've got to win it. As I just talked myself into this is a must-win game. It's a must-win game,
Yeah.
basically.
Well, on that then, finally, can I get a score prediction for you for the Manchester Derby?
7-0
What
Man
do you
City.
think?
Um, I do think we win. As I was saying earlier, I think my logical side says I think United are poor, and everything that I've talked about will play on the players' mind too. And I think it'll lead to a City side with Rodri in control and Foden and Haaland stepping up. I'm going to go for 3-1 City. I think we're going to concede, but I'm confident as it can be.